Today, we're jumping into the world of habits. Specifically, we're looking at James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, using a really thorough review you shared with us. And the mission, really, is to pull out the most useful, maybe surprising, and definitely actionable bits for you. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding, well, what seems like a genuinely game-changing way to approach self-improvement without drowning in information.
Yeah, it's interesting. The review really emphasizes what makes Atomic Habits different. So many self-help books are about just motivation, vague stuff. But Clear, according to the source, gives you a practical system. It's backed by science, apparently, for making lasting changes through really small, consistent actions. It's much more systematic, not just, wishing things were different.
Right, a system. That's key. And the central idea, as the source explains it, is framed really cleverly. He uses this powerful analogy. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement, which at first might just sound catchy, right? But when you actually unpack it, it feels like a real blueprint.
Exactly. And that compound interest idea, it means just like money grows, exponentially over time, the effects of your small daily routines pile up in the same way. It's quite profound, actually. The review even mentions a specific number, improving just 1% every day, which sounds tiny, doesn't it? But it leads to, quote, remarkable results long-term. That consistent little bit adds up significantly.
It really does. And that's where the name comes from, right? Atomic habits.
Yeah.
We're not talking about massive, sudden transformations here.
No, not at all.
The source calls them tiny, manageable adjustments, things that are easy to do, but they become incredibly effective when you just keep doing them consistently. Make it almost too small to fail. Okay, so what makes the book so practical, according to the review, is this structure, the 4 laws of behavior change. It's presented as a step-by-step guide, not just for building good habits, but also for breaking bad ones, which is just as important.
Yeah, this framework seems to be the core of the how-to. So, first law, it's make it obvious. This is all about designing your environment, your space, your routines, making the cues for the habits you want really visible, really prominent.
The habit cue idea. So your surroundings trigger the habit.
Exactly. Like, putting your gym clothes out the night before, making the cue unmissable.
Okay, makes sense. What's the second law?
Make it attractive. This is where things like temptation bundling come in. Or habit stacking. Basically, you link a habit you want to start with something you already enjoy doing.
So you make the new habit more appealing somehow.
Precisely. Like maybe you only listen to your favorite podcast while you're exercising. It hooks the new habit to a reward you already like. Boost the chances you'll actually do it.
Clever. All right, law number 3.
Make it easy. This one's huge. It's all about reducing friction, lowering the barriers, getting rid of the obstacles that stop you from starting.
Right, like the 2-minute rule he talks about. Start super small.
Exactly. The emphasis is on repetition, not perfection. Just getting the reps in, even if it's tiny at first, flossing one tooth instead of aiming for all of them right away. Build that momentum.
Okay, obvious, attractive, easy. What's the last one?
Make it satisfying. This is about the reward, making sure there's some immediate positive feedback. Our brains are wired to repeat actions that feel good now, not just ones that have long-term benefits.
So you need that little win right away.
Yes, something that reinforces the behavior immediately, making you want to do it again. That completes the loop.
That whole framework just sounds incredibly logical and practical. And the review stresses that Clear backs these laws up with, real examples, studies. It's not just theory.
Right, it makes it feel grounded.
And speaking of studies, I thought this was interesting. The review mentions he tackles that myth about habits taking exactly 21 days or 30 days or whatever.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
He clarifies it's really not about a fixed number of days. It actually depends on frequency, not time.
How often you do it matters more than just how long you've been trying, which feels intuitively right, doesn't it?
Totally. Now, digging into the material, this next part really stood out for me. The review highlights it as potentially one of the most powerful insights in the whole book. It's this focus on identity change. That sounds significant.
Oh, it really is. It's a fundamental shift, I think. Instead of focusing only on the outcome like, I want to run a marathon, you focus on becoming the type of person who achieves that outcome.
So less, I want to write a book, more, I am a writer.
Exactly. Yeah. Or, I am the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. You shift your self-perception first.
And why is that so much more effective?
Well, the idea is that it leads to more sustainable change because your habits aren't just things you do anymore. They become like a natural extension of who you are, rooted in your identity.
So it's less about willpower and more about just being yourself.
Pretty much. It makes the habits feel more authentic, less like a constant struggle. It taps into something deeper than just chasing a goal. It's quite profound when you think about it.
You can see why this book has resonated so much. The review also touches on why it connects with people. It describes Clear's writing style as, well, clear, concise, engaging, apparently avoids jargon,
Yeah, accessibility seems key.
makes it easy to grasp, and crucially easy to apply. And it isn't just for one thing, right? The review says the strategies work across all areas of life.
Reading more, productivity, health. Pretty universal stuff.
No book is perfect. Does the review mention any criticisms or limitations?
It does acknowledge that for people who are already deep into habit science or behavioral psychology, some ideas might feel a bit repetitive.
Okay, so maybe not entirely groundbreaking for experts in the field.
Perhaps not in terms of brand new research discoveries, but the review is quick to point out that the book's real strength isn't necessarily originality. It's how Clear synthesizes existing ideas and presents them in this highly digestible and applicable way.
Which is still incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. For most people, that synthesis and the practical framework is the value. Making complex ideas usable is a skill in itself.
Right. So wrapping things up, it seems Atomic Habits isn't just another self-help title. The way it's presented, it's more like a blueprint for building a better life, step by step, through these small, consistent actions.
Exactly. And crucially, Clear doesn't just say what to do. The review emphasizes that he shows you how and why it works, giving you that underlying understanding, which is probably key for making changes actually stick.
So it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? If improving just that tiny 1% each day really can lead to these remarkable results, what's one small, almost invisible habit you could start, or maybe stop, doing today?
Yeah, what's something that feels almost too easy?
But could set you on a path to a completely different you, say, a year from now.
That tiny step with potentially huge compound impact down the road, something definitely worth considering.